Guys, welcome to Building Beauty. This is a podcast that will be launching in 2025, but here is our big episode because we have a huge collaboration for Diana Madison Beauty, our first collaboration with the fabulous and talented Natasha Brinkmann, who is also known as Beauty Junky Monkey on TikTok. And
hi, Diana. Not like we haven't been talking for like a year putting this together, but these were one of my favorites. So when you kind of approached me and said, let's do something together, I'm like, we have to have the mask, we have to have the oil, absolute favorites. And I mean, your cleansers are gorgeous. Again, but this I think would be great, especially in the winter months, because here in Canada, it's cold and our skin dries down so bad. And your mask is by far the best hydrating mask I have tested to date. And I've tested a lot of masks.
oh
And
yes, I see all your videos. You were
oh yeah.
there.
So maybe one thing people don't understand about me is I am a complete independent master medical esthetician. So that means I test everything. And if I love it, then I tell everybody about it because I just want to be like that girlfriend where you're like, oh, I found a great deal. This is where you want to go. And then I can tell how it works, because sometimes just looking at the ingredient list doesn't tell you how it really feels and how it performs on the skin. You can kind of get an idea, but the proof is always in the pudding. So I have to say, I love your hydrating mask. It is my absolute ride or die, especially after good exfoliation or after a laser treatment, microneedling treatment. This bad boy is amazing because you don't have anything in there that's going to cause skin irritations. This is pure, right?
Yeah.
I love the formula. And then your oil is like chef kiss, because your oil, again, is non-cosmogenic, so you're not going to have any clogging. But what I love about it is I can use it under my makeup because it's light enough. And then that way I have that flawless makeup look. Or I can add it over top of my moisturizer at night. It's called skin glazing, which adds that little extra layer of hydration for us very dry people out there. It's just gorgeous, and it just keeps your skin super hydrated. So I love it. And the gua sha was just a nice treat, just a nice little massage.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Today, I did some extra glow to do this interview. I did the face sheet mask, and then I used the butterfly rose quartz crystal that you chose with my face oil. And I was saying some mantras to myself. I was like, you're beautiful. I love you. I was talking to myself in the mirror while doing your butterfly gua sha. And then at the end, after I did my makeup, because I'm doing this interview with you on Zoom, I don't know if you could tell, I put some extra glow oil over my makeup.
So
it
perfect.
doesn't affect it. So can you tell, can you see the glow?
Yes, definitely can see the glow. You're gorgeous. Well, you're gorgeous anyways, but.
Well, I want to talk to you because you're gorgeous. You and I, we always talk about age, and you talk about your age and what you do at your age, which is so fascinating. I will get into the nitty gritty of that. But I think for people who want to get to know you more past the videos you post on TikTok, I want to talk to you. And I know me and you started talking about a year ago. We met through our good friend, Christy Buss, who's phenomenal. And she has her own beauty brand. You guys check it out. I know we met through her, and we've been talking for over a year, and we've been working together, but there's questions about you I want to get to know too. One of the most fascinating things about you that I learned is this was not your day job. You were actually on the streets as a police officer by what we say, by day beauty guru, by night police officer, or was it the reverse? Which way was it?
It depends on the shift. I worked shift work for at least 15 years. I was a police officer for 15 years. That's correct.
Wow. And you're from Canada. I don't know if people know this.
Yeah, I'm in Edmonton, Alberta. So I was an Edmonton police officer. But the funny thing about my backstory is that when I first started, of course, your first job, you start working in the beauty industry. For me, it was clothing. I loved it. But I love the industry and I love beauty. I grew up with it. My aunt was a hairdresser, and my grandmother, she would always put on her little lotions and potions. So I was just really drawn to it naturally. So initially in my 20s, I kind of transitioned to becoming a full esthetician. So I did all the courses, started working, did a lot of things in the background. But I always wanted to be a police officer. And when I was 18, I actually tried to join the police office, and it was a hot mess. I was 18, a female, didn't meet any requirements, definitely physically was not there. I didn't realize how hard it was. And it just kind of fell away. But I'm like, that's okay. You know what? obviously it wasn't meant for me. Maybe I'm just too girly, I called myself. So I'm like, okay, too girly. So I went down the aesthetic path and I loved it. I excelled at it. And for me, it really helped because I was able to help people feel better about themselves. And because I did the full aesthetics, it really gave me a well-rounded experience on how to help people. But I loved facials. That was kind of my little, specialty, if you will. And then as I started getting introduced to new products and new brands, I started kind of noticing that every brand kind of said the same thing. They were like, oh, our brand is the best. Our formulations are the best. And of course, when you're young and impressed, you're easily impressed. It was one of those situations where like, oh yeah, absolutely. But I love the science behind it. But then I try it. I'm like, well, it's not that good. Like you're really selling me a good game, but it's okay. I wouldn't call it great. And the other thing that I noticed, especially when I'm doing facials and trying to help people, especially with acne, that was one of my bigger clienteles. Obviously, that's a skin condition. But back then, what we had was very basic.
Right.
And so what we were able to help wasn't the same. So I'm like, well, this line isn't great for acne. So I'd start searching out other lines that had more acnetic friendly ingredients. And then that's where the passion of ingredients really started coming into play. So fast forward, oh, how many years? I think it was in my 30s that I decided that, I really loved what I was doing, but the industry ebbed and flowed to kind of like a standstill for me. It was no longer fulfilling. And I'm just like, I really want to try policing one more time. I'm going to try it one more time. They're accepting people. I'm going to get in great shape and I'm going to go for it. And I worked my butt off and I didn't make it the first time. So that was frustrating. So I went back and waited the year and then I tried again and I got on. And I had a really great boss. He was absolutely amazing. And he was the one that told me, whatever you do, keep one foot out of this world. He goes, because eventually you'll retire and all you're going to be is a retired cop. Keep your old friends, keep your old hobbies. I never dare tell anybody what I did on the side. I never told anybody I had, aesthetics or anything like that, because you can imagine what kind of feedback one would get from that. So, and I wanted to prove myself and be one of the guys. And, I worked hard and had an incredible career and really enjoyed it. But by year 15, I started kind of going, I don't know. I don't know if this is, I kind of did all the different areas I wanted to work in. Policing changed a lot. The world changed a lot. And I didn't feel like it was working with my views anymore. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm really good at this. Maybe I'll just teach this online and see what happens. And that's where I started teaching skincare and how to put skincare ingredients and routines together, which is not being told. Everybody tells you how or what a product will do, but they don't tell you how to put it together so you don't have skin irritation and you actually see results. And I'm like, well, I know how to do that. I can do that. So that's how I started. But
So
I had
you
a
saw a place in the market, in a
yes.
saturated beauty market, that you were like, wait, no one's really doing this.
Exactly, exactly. And
So it's so
one,
funny you say this. You're like, I'm going to solve this problem. Because I always tell people when people ask me, why did you start the brand or how do I make a brand successful? The first thing I tell people is, are you solving a problem? Because if you're
yes,
solving a problem, it's going to be successful. So here you are solving a problem. You saw a niche and you're like, I'm
yep,
going to do this. Where
yeah.
did you start teaching the classes? Was it TikTok immediately or was it online?
It was TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I just opened all the accounts and I went for it. Like initially, I didn't even want a TikTok or a Facebook account because in policing, I wanted to do undercover work, so you couldn't have any footprint. So it was really kind of ironic to go from, that kind of mentality to, oh, I'm going to be a social media presence, which never.
Wait, I have a question for you because a lot of people reach out to me. That's the first thing they say is sometimes they get embarrassed telling their friends or family that they want to be a social media influencer because in their heads, they're going to get mocked or,
Mhm.
they get weird reactions. What was like the reaction you received in Canada as a policewoman when you're like, I'm going to be a beauty influencer on TikTok?
Well, by then I didn't care. Like, after about 15 years, I'm like, meh, whatever.
Did you get
The
like weird
ironic part.
reactions? Did you get weird comments?
No, the opposite. I actually had members approach me and say, hey, Natasha, I need help with my skin. Can you help me? So it was the opposite, men and women. So I had both. Everybody
Wow.
thinks it's just women, but it was actually men and women. And I had to laugh because they're like, don't tell anybody. I'm like, no, no, I'm discreet. I know how to keep,
Right.
I'm very private. I don't tell other people secrets. I don't talk about people negatively. I don't believe in that. But I tell you, it was really ironic. And the better I got, it just continued to just evolve. And one of the big things that I made very clear at the beginning is I have to test it and I have to love it. So my integrity that brought me into policing kept me into my gig. Because once you start getting into this industry, there's a lot of people that will throw a lot of money at you.
Oh
They'll
yeah.
promote our product, blah, blah, blah. I am crappy. I tried to do undercover work. So that was one of the things I tried to do when I was in policing.
Wait, what were you
I'm
trying to like do? Like what undercover work did you do? I'm curious.
You don't want to know.
You can't share it because if you do, they might kill you. Is it one of those?
No, so they're called decoys, and decoys are basically because here in Canada it is illegal to solicit
Your
sexual
body.
favors for.
So were you
I was a
pretending to be
decoy. Yeah.
were you pretending to be a sex worker or like
Yes. Yes. We called them
you never
decoys.
told me this? Oh my God.
That's not
You
something you
never
read
told me this.
into. I had the boobs. It was great. It was.
Wait, were you like on the streets? Like how did
Yeah.
it, I'm like curious now. Like what how did this unfold?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't do a lot of it because it grosses you out really, really, really quickly because you realize these are real people with real issues, and it's very different than what you see on TV. But yes, I did do some decoying, and I didn't go as that's where I was kind of playing with the idea of going undercover. You have to start kind of there. And yes, you're out there, you're freezing your butt off. And I don't want to talk about all the extras because I want to keep that, protected for anybody else.
Right.
I don't even think they do that anymore. I think now that everything has been legalized, it's not illegal. To have massage parlors and stuff like that here in Canada now. But yeah, I did some decoying. I froze my butt off and
Wow.
it was interesting. I got into some interesting situations where thankfully I had a great team, and there was nothing transpired from it, but it could have gone from bad to worse really quickly. There's
Right.
extra training that you do for it. So yeah, you have
So
to you have
crazy.
to
Who
be
would have
very
ever known?
self-aware.
Who would have ever known, Natasha? We've been talking for over a year, and I feel like it's like we've been dating for so long, and now we got married, and you're like, oh, ta-da! You're like, what? That's
A
crazy,
lot. I've done a lot, and I love everything that I've done. And like I said, I just believe in keeping certain things private for people because I dealt with real people.
right?
And
No, and
I
I think
don't,
that's so fascinating. That's so
yeah.
insane.
Thank you.
I want to know what year did you launch your TikTok channel?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I don't even know.
I mean,
I
how many
honestly
years
don't
ago was
know.
it?
I'd have to look it up to tell you
Okay.
the honest truth. But it's, I have to say the last 3 years is when I've really pushed hard because I actually quit policing 2 years ago. So November 5th is
Wow.
my anniversary of 2 years completely free
Wait,
of
so
policing.
let's get this right. So you are now doing policing and TikTok. So by day, by night, depends on the shift.
Yeah,
And you go viral on TikTok.
yeah.
And then you were still doing TikTok for 1 year until you quit being a policewoman.
Yeah, about 8 months because I really went full turkey on it. Like I went really, really, really hard 1 year because I wanted to see if people wanted my services. So what I do is I design skincare routines for people worldwide. So they purchase my service, they tell me their skin concerns, and then I'm able to match the right ingredients in the skincare products that will benefit their skin and help change their skin. And because I've tested so many different products and I know what different brands can do, then I can also match the right products to the person. And it doesn't have to be these stupid expensive, only shoo shoo poo poo brands. It can be, stuff that you find at Sephora or down the street. Like I really play with everything and I see what their limitations are and what they can and can't do for my clients. And then I just designed a skincare routine and it went from okay, I'm booked to now I'm fully booked to now I have a full waiting list. And I said to my husband, I think we have something really exciting here and I'd like to give it a shot. And
Wow.
so he was like, 100%, you go for it. And he's also a police officer. So, we know the life and we're giving up a lot. I'm giving up my pension. There's no more pension you pay into it. You get to keep it, but you're giving that up. You're giving up your social
You're taking a lot of sacrifices to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy being
Yeah.
an entrepreneur.
No, and there's no guaranteed income with EPS. It didn't matter. Like, you know, you get paid. You get paid every 2 weeks. So we went for it and I said, let's try it. I'm going to do on my vacation because by that time I had about a month off of vacation. So that 1 month off that I was supposed to be off, I booked clients back to back. And I said, let's see if it sells out. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, that's okay. Nothing lost. I sold out. And it was to the point where I was selling out 6 months in advance. So after I was done my vacation, I walked into my office, my sergeant's office when I came back. And I said, by the way, I'm retiring from policing. And his words were like, what? Nobody leaves. Once you're in for 25 years. And I was like, no, seriously. I said, I've been doing an online business off to the side, which, by the way, I had to have permission to do. So if you have another job and you're in policing, you have to actually, well, here in Canada, you'd have to ask if it was okay because you don't want to have any conflicts of interest.
Right.
And so that was interesting. And yeah, it turned out to be.
Oh no, you're like now you've created, I mean, does anybody else do this besides you? I don't know anybody else that does this. So you're
Not
the queen bee of like trying on products and then helping people get the regimen. You've helped me with my skin. Thank you very much.
my
All off of
pleasure.
a FaceTime. You're like, oh, da, 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 da. I'm like, how can you see from a FaceTime? You're like, oh, I could see, I could tell, I could tell. And you've changed my life when it comes to skincare. And like most recently, one of our like loyal followers and customers hit me up. They're like, I need to get in with Natasha. Can you set me up? And I'm like, yeah, I'll set you up. I felt really cool. I'm like, I know her. Yeah, I'll set you up.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It was cute. I was like, yeah, I know her. I could totally do that.
Well,
I'm curious to know because a lot of people ask me this question, like, when did you know you were going to start it? When did you know to quit your job and do it full time? When was it? Was it when you went viral with that one? Which video, by the way, which video went viral is a question.
the video that went viral was from Topology. It's the Matrixyl. So the Matrixyl 3000 is a signaling peptide that stimulates collagen production. It's sensational. They were the first ones that really kind of promoted it as its own individual ingredient. Definitely one of the best out there on the market. So if you are kind of entering into that phase in your life, like your mid-30s or an up, and you need something to help with the kind of anti-wrinkles without going too crazy in
Right.
the industry, Matrixa was it. And I was just like, this is amazing because I tested it and I loved it.
Right.
And I noticed such a huge difference when I incorporated it in my skincare routine. And that's how it went viral. And then people started going, oh, you design routines. So I actually design routines for people worldwide. I have clients in Hong Kong, I have Singapore, Ireland, Germany, Australia, big in Australia, Canada, and of course the States. So I'm literally worldwide.
Doesn't that fascinate you that you are in Canada and you're from a small town in Canada, right? Where you're from, is it a small town or is it
Well,
medium?
I was born in a small town, but I live in Edmonton, so that's a pretty big city. So we're pretty good. But yeah, I grew up from a farming community, so I still have that kind of that feel about me where I have no problem running in the mud and playing on the trikes and skidoos and stuff like that that I did with my cousins when we went to the farm. But yeah, I'm still a girly girl at heart. So
So you are born and raised in a small town. You live in Canada to
yeah.
get people calling you up from all over the world, all off of TikTok. Doesn't that fascinate you? That's fascinating for me.
I don't think I really let it sink in. It's kind of like, oh, okay, just keep going, just keep going, keep
Right.
going. Because of course, as an entrepreneur, you're always nervous. So you're like, will this become obsolete? Will I become obsolete? But as I continue to progress, I continue to progress in newer products and newer ingredients, and things are constantly evolving and changing. And what I love is that I'm able to provide a service that really nobody in Canada or the States does. I think UK, they have somebody similar to me that can do these things, but it's kind of like you go to your dermatologist and they deal with the skin and the skin conditions and the issues that you have, but they don't design you a skincare routine. Or if they do, they give you prescription strength, which may or may not work for you. And
Right.
there's absolutely no follow-up.
That's
You
exactly
literally,
what happened to me. That is why I created my beauty brand. I went to the dermatologist. I was getting bad cases of eczema, patches on my eyes, patches all over my face and body. And they were like, okay, they gave me steroids. And other than that, they said, use clean products with clean ingredients that heal. And I just walked out. I'm like, what products? Like, I don't know what, like, I wasn't in this world. I just had a
yeah.
problem. but them not giving me my answers created my brand. See, I saw there was a need and I saw a problem I had to fix and I didn't know how to fix it. So I created the opportunity for myself. You did the same thing as well. You saw that like no one's helping with, you're kind of like a skin architect is what I feel. Like
Oh, I
you
like
like
that.
build the house with the skincare routine. Like you build it. You're like an architect. You're like, okay, this goes here, this goes here. It's very fascinating and your work is amazing. It works. I know firsthand. I have a question for you because
Mhm.
I'm in this place right now. I'm excited about our launch, but right before our launch, I haven't posted in a week because I'm kind of in this like fatigue. I don't even know, is it fatigue? I'm burned out. I don't know what I'm going through, but I haven't posted in over a week. And I just want to know, do you go through this?
Yes.
How do you deal with it if you do go through it?
I burnt out. I burnt out last month. I literally went too hard, too fast. When I listen to a lot of podcasts, because there's so many incredible people out there with different life experiences. And this one guy talked about pacing yourself and learning your pace and respecting your pace.
Wow.
And when you go viral and your business blows up, you're just trying to keep up. And
Uh-huh.
you have people coming at you left, right, and center, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to stop this opportunity because what if it doesn't come again? And what if you get stuck in the what if? But because I was going at such a high pace, after a while, it just got to the point where I literally burnt out. And then I started feeling resentful. I'm like, I know what this feeling is. I burnt out in policing before, so I know exactly what this is about. And I had to take a break. I literally went offline for a whole month. It
Wow.
felt amazing. And I'm like, I will know when it's time to go back because I'll want to do it. Not I feel I have to, but I'll want it. And it was good. It was like the first 3 weeks was really important. By the kind of like almost the fourth week, I'm like, oh, should I put no, don't post. You know what's gonna happen if you go, you're just gonna rev back up again. So this time around, I've been much smarter about how I'm posting. And I'm not going as much. And I'm like, so I don't have like a cajillion followers. So what? I'm so booked.
I mean, look, you have like over 700,000 followers on TikTok. That's a lot of followers.
Well, yeah, actually, I have over 1 million if you put all three of them together.
Right.
So
Over a
Facebook,
billion
TikTok,
followers. Yeah,
yes,
that's a
it's
lot of
plenty.
followers. I'm going through that right now. I'm excited about our launch, so that has got me excited. But before that, I just had this burnout and fatigue. I really did. I feel like the brand has blown up. I'm
Mhm.
like a one-man show, and there's just only so much I feel like I could do,
Yep.
because people don't realize that content, like we are the content, we're the content creators. We are like you are Beauty Junkie Monkey. So
Yes.
you gotta be on and you gotta be
And it's
producing.
draining. It's draining when you're on, you're on. It's like you're there, you're
I
bringing your
know,
energy, right? You
I
have to have your
know,
brain turned on and you
I
have to
know,
know your dope, as we say in the industry. Like you got to know what you're doing and what you're saying. And it's by the end of the day, you're like,
I
because
know.
you're drained, you give everything. And for me, I just had to learn to pace myself because I forgot to do that. And I'm no good to anybody if I'm burnt out, right?
No.
Like my quality is going to go
How do you stay motivated at times like that? What gets you motivated? Is it just spending time with your husband? I mean, what keeps you motivated when,
Oh, I love the industry. I'm a nerd. I love the industry. I love deep diving. I love trying new products. Like right now, I'm really, this year has been a big focus because I'm perimenopause. And I don't know if women our age in the 40s and 50s and up, you hit a certain spot where you're using your skincare ingredients and then they stop working and you're going to the derm and you're giving like get me the tretinoin and like I'll take it and their face is doing poorly, it's not filling out like you want it to and you're like why is this not working, because there is a wall that we do hit. And this year I've been really focusing on growth factors, cytokines, exosomes. Wow,
I've
because
noticed a big change in your skin in
yeah,
the last year.
thank you.
And wait, could we talk about, because you always brag about this when I talk to you, um, you've never done Botox or you don't have
No,
it right now.
I tried Botox in my early, so I'm 49. I tried Botox in my early 40s. Of course, you wanted to see what it was like. I liked it, but my body metabolized it very, very quickly. And I don't have the type of income where I could do it every 3 months because it was literally every 3 months I would need a top up. And I don't have that kind of money. No.
It's like a mortgage for a house these days.
Like I don't mind paying for something that works, but it needs to work long term. And, I'm not against Botox. I'm not against
Right.
fillers. I'm not against any procedure. I just want it to have a good bang for my buck. And some people love them, some people hate them. I'm neutral. Like I don't, whatever you want to do, you do. I will support your skin. But
Right.
no, I have no Botox in my face. I have a little bit of filler in my lips. That's the only filler I have. I just did a Fraxel laser. It was my first time doing a
How
Fraxel.
was that?
Painful, but the results are fantastic.
That's all that matters. I did the halo laser and my kids were like, Mom, what did you do? And I literally, for a second, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And then a
Yes,
week later, when you see what your skin looks like, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy I did it. But I really,
yes.
the day I did it, I was like, what did I do? What did
Yeah,
I
and the halo
do?
is very similar to the Fraxel. I think that's what you guys call it in the States. It's the same thing here.
It's the same
So
thing. Okay, got it.
it's the same thing. So basically it's a two-part laser system where they go in and they blast the collagen underneath your skin, and that's what really causes that growth, that
Right.
the growth of collagen and volume back into your skin. And then the second part of the laser, they're basically burning off the top layer of the skin. So they're getting rid of all of that. So it forces the brand new skin to rejuvenate, and it really helps with the deep fine lines and wrinkles. It doesn't get rid of them completely, but if you did this like once a year, I think it's a fantastic
I
option
know.
for
That's what they're
maintenance.
saying. That you got to do it once a year. My kids are still traumatized from last year, so I gotta think about that. I want
Yeah.
to ask you a question. Um,
Mhm.
what is like your one beauty secret that does not involve lasers, does not involve stem cells? Like, what is your one beauty secret?
Face cloth.
What?
Face cloth.
That's your one beauty secret.
Mhm.
Oh, I just failed. I just use like whatever's nearby, my husband's towel sometimes. Like I'm just like, what's around? What's around? So
The
you have
face
your own
cloth.
special face cloth.
Well, I don't have my own, but what it is when you're washing your face both morning and night. So there's a misconception out there that washing your face in the morning dries out your skin. It does not. Washing your face with acids all the time and using acid toners will dry out your skin. So when you wash your face and you do you break up all the dirt, the oil, and the debris that's on there from the night before. Remember, not all your skincare products absorb completely in. There's still some left behind. When you're washing your face, if you just splash the water on your face, oil and water don't mix. And if you have really oily skin, even dry skin, the oil is sticky and it stays on top of the skin. So if we don't get rid of that, and even if we just pat afterwards, we're really just pushing it all back in and we're not perfecting the cleanse. And if you don't have a good cleanse, then you don't have good product absorption because it's not absorbing properly. So whenever I have a client that says things aren't working, it stopped working, things aren't going so well, I always go back, are you using a face cloth? No. I said, contact me in a week, let me know how your skin is and let me know.
What's your
And
favorite face cloth? Is there one you like?
it's the generic ones you buy at the dollar store. They're called
Oh,
makeup removing face cloths. So they have that microfiber and those don't cause any micro tears to the skin. So everybody can use them. Dry, oily, acne, amazing for acne because it literally pulls
great.
off. They're like
Is
little
this on your
tentacles.
website? Is this on your website?
I have a version of it, but honestly, go to Amazon. Like honestly, Amazon has a whole bunch that you can buy. You want the microfiber makeup removing face cloths because again, they're just generic. I mean, everybody says I should make my own, but I'm like, why? When you can buy them for $2, $3, just buy you don't need the $20 one. It's the same material as the $2 one. And what kind of break down and they stop working, you just give them to your husbands and they use it to wash their cars. It's fabulous.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
It's
In my case,
renewable.
clean after the kids in the kitchen or something, or
Yeah.
there's always something being dropped. That is a great beauty tip. I love it. I mean, every time I talk to you, I feel like I learn something new. It's like you're like a walking encyclopedia for beauty. Do you have any unique? I know you're always obsessed with the Marilyn Monroe goddess
I love
sexy
her.
vibe. Is that like your specific look? Because I feel like even like today, it's a little demure, not so
Mhm.
like because I've seen you go full glam and go ham and it's Marilyn Monroe, like, right? But is she
It
like
depends
your
on how much.
beauty icon? Is that
I love Marilyn Monroe. I love old Hollywood. I grew up watching those movies. So clearly she definitely, my grandmother had super white hair So she reminded me of her. So maybe I'm emulating her. But I love old Hollywood glam. I love the ladies. They always exuded this confidence and this wonderful. And you know, when you're growing up, you don't feel confident. You don't feel beautiful. You know, you're just a pudgy little kid that you're just trying to make yourself feel good about yourself. And that
Right.
was the nice thing with skincare or makeup. I always felt a little better about myself because I was doing something to take care of myself and present myself in my best foot forward. But I love the old Hollywood glam. Absolutely. I love glamming it up. Today was just, I had a really heavy workout, so the hair went up in a bun.
No, you look gorgeous. I love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
I want to talk to you about your self-care routine at home because you do work a lot. You're booked up, constantly talking to people. Then you're like, social media videos and content. Like you are busy and you have a life outside of work as well. You have an
Yep.
amazing husband and a family. Um, I want to know, like, what do you do for your self-care for yourself?
Downtime is important to me. So I shut off. I'm really good at my boundaries when it comes to work. So when I'm done work, I turn off my notifications to my emails. I don't go on my social media. So other than posting, I don't do it at all. So then that way I have that space. I love spin class and kettlebell classes. So my workouts are my stress release. And then I love yoga because this thing's always turned on. And
Right.
when I take my yoga, it helps stretch out all the damage I had from having a 15-pound duty belt on my hips for so many years. I unfortunately have some hip issues. So when I stretch, it just helps. So I really focus, I make time every single week for my workouts, whatever they look like. And I also make sure I shut down and I spend time with my family and with, of course, my husband, because that is incredibly important to me.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. This is called building beauty. So I want to know for aspiring influencers or people who, have a full-time job and they want to do something on the side like you did and hopefully wish it turns into something bigger, like a full-time job. What would you give them as an advice about starting a path on social media? What's like the best tip you could give them?
The best advice I can give you is don't be anybody but yourself.
Oh, yes.
That is key because you are unique. And when you try to emulate somebody else, it's people don't want somebody else. They want you. They want different. You know, we all grow up trying to fit in. And I realized after a long, long time, it was my uniqueness that made me interesting. And that's where people will follow. And it takes time. You're not going to build a million people in one day. The viral, everybody's like, oh, you went viral. I'm like, yeah, it took me years to go viral though. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. And the really important thing, especially if you want to jump from one career to another career, especially if you're like, I did this at 48, I jumped careers. And for me, what I tell everybody is have a safety net in place. I worked like a dog. So every single day off, I worked 4 on, 4 off. So all my days off, I was working, taking clients. I was building that nest egg because I wanted to make sure that if I didn't have any clients, if I didn't sell out, that I had money put aside. Now I was lucky too because policing, same with teaching here. There's certain professions where you can go back and take like a small break or retire. And then if you choose to come back within a window, a period of time, I had 2 years. So if I wanted to go back, I could go back in 2 years. Not going to happen. Absolutely not. But I knew I had that safety net as well. So I made sure I had my money put aside, that I was safe in that. I made sure my husband was 100% on board because if you're trying to do this on your own and you have no support, you're not going to make it. Doesn't matter how amazing you are. It doesn't matter how many times you go viral. You need support or else you can't finish. You can't follow through with it. And then, of course, have a bit of a safety net with other, always a little bit of a plan B, but don't rely on your plan B because then you'll go back to it.
That's
Right.
a really great tip. Where do you see us? I mean, I asked you this last time. I'm curious if it's changed. Are you going to launch your own brand? I feel like you know beauty products more than anybody else. Like, is that something in the future for you? What are you going to be doing in the next 5 years? Where is Beauty Junky Monkey going?
Well, I'm updating my website, so I'm going to be doing some more online teaching, but I'm really excited because I want to do more teaching, but I want to teach more professionals. So
Wow.
other people within the industry, my husband's like, you're giving away the golden goose. I'm like, I can't do the golden goose forever. That's not the point. The point is to hone in, become super good at what I do. And then I don't want to create my own brand because then that's a completely different duck. And when you build your brand, you kind of build a bias around it. And you forget to be as an innovative as you can be when you're independent like me. I can play with anything. I'm not owned by anyone. So I can play with something in Singapore. I can play with
Right.
something in United States. Nobody owns me. Nobody dictates how I run my business. And that's really, really, really important to me because I don't want to be owned by anybody. So for me, what I wanted to do is I think eventually I'm going to start teaching for other professionals, but I'm not there yet because I have so many clients that I'm still servicing. My clients are returning. And I have limited time now, right? So limited time. So for me, I just want to make sure that I take care of my clients, continue providing good, solid information. With my website, I will be offering actual advanced training techniques for professionals that they can purchase. So we'll see. But eventually, I would love, okay, pie in the sky idea. I would love to have like either like a training facility or establishment where I teach estheticians and professionals exactly what I do because it is not being taught. And I don't foresee myself doing this in my 70s. So,
Knowing
but
you,
I love
Natasha,
educating.
knowing you, Natasha, you will be educating about beauty literally until you're like, I'm clocking out from life. You
Probably,
will
yeah.
never stop. Like
You're
knowing
right.
how you are, you just are so passionate about beauty. You love it. You breathe it. It's in the air for you. Like it's just you. So I don't think you're ever going to retire. So I'm just going to put that in as like my little like take on knowing you so well. Um, are you like excited to have this in your hands? Because I just like this is a big deal for me. My first collaboration. We've
Okay.
got your beautiful picture back here, a story about who you are and what you do, and the product and why you chose this. I feel like this is the best holiday glow kit box. Like this is such a great package
Yep.
the holidays. And I walked into Bloomingdale's and saw your box, and it
Oh
was
my gosh.
a moment for me. The box is going to be at Macy's as well and on
Oh
DianaMadisonBeauty.com.
my
When
gosh.
you come to LA, we are going to be doing an event at Macy's
Yep.
December 20th, which I cannot wait. So is that surreal for you? Like
Yeah.
police woman, and then you're like, I think I'm gonna try this TikTok thing. And then now it's like you've created your own collab. This is your second collab. You did another collab before and with an amazing brand. And now it's like in stores. Like, can you
Yeah.
just
Well, you're the one that put it in the stores. When you told me it's going in Bloomingdale's and you're just like, oh, it's going in Bloomingdale's, it's going to Macy's. I'm like, I jumped up and down when we are off the phone. I try to keep it together when we're together, but oh my God, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that my face is with your products and it's going to be in major retail
right,
stores. It's an honor beyond honor. I mean,
right. My mom bought the box and she put
no,
it in
did
her
she?
company's raffle yesterday.
Oh my
So
God.
I can't wait to hear from her to see how much it went for. But she bought the box from Bloomingdale's and she put it in her company's raffle and she was telling me how much excitement there was over the box. So I
Well,
cannot wait to hear how much money this box raised for her company. But I am so excited. I am so pumped.
and
Um,
it's a great product. Like, there's a lot of people that do brands and I've seen collaborations and I love it because you get the best of both worlds coming together and creating something that people can really use. And I'm excited because I'm going to be promoting it on when we launch on Monday. So when we promote it, I'm going to be talking about how to use the products in different ways, which is what I specialize in. And because your products are so versatile and clean, everybody can use them.
oh,
So, even people with acne prone skin can use your oil. I know everybody thinks acne can't use oil. You actually can. You just have to know how to use it. But you actually can use an oil just to keep your skin hydrated so you don't overstrip it and you don't cause more oil production. It's really interesting the things that you can do, and your products are gorgeous. So I'm honored that you approached me and said, let's go for it because
let's do it. I was like, let's go. Let's jump in. Let's do it. I don't even know what I'm doing, but let's go. Let's do it.
yeah, we'll figure it out as we go along. And we put this together. Like, you're like, why do you want the butterfly? And I'm like, because, I have allergies. And I know when I do my gua sha, like I like to take the corner of like the wing and I like to take it and I hit the spot right underneath where you have like fluid buildup because I have such bad allergies. I like it because it really helps drain. And so, you know, you
This
have
has
some great,
changed my life. I'm going to be
I
honest.
love it.
Gua shy with a butterfly rose quartz crystal is a game changer. It is nothing like my other gua shas. I got to be honest. I just love the way that if I'm doing a lymphatic drainage, the way
Yes,
it just
yes.
collects my skin,
Yeah.
like the way it just like
And
lifts.
it's gentle. It's gentle. It
It is
doesn't hurt your
gentle.
skin. Yeah.
It is gentle, but I just love the way this is a game changer for me. It really, really changed the way I do my like my massages in the morning. And even today, before I
Yeah.
did my makeup, I did a good massage with the gua sha. Game
Nice.
changer. Now, my sheet mask, I created this sheet mask. I'll tell you the story. I don't know if I've told you,
Yes.
but it was the pandemic. And I only had two products set. I only had the face oil and the body oil, but I kept using sheet mask. A lot of them was from Korea. And I couldn't read the ingredients, it's written in Korean, but I just remember like using it because I couldn't go to a spa. I couldn't relax. I'm at home with two kids and we're in the pandemic and the apocalypse times. We're like, oh my God, we're all gonna die. And
Yes.
I just remember like getting breakouts from the sheet mask. And I said, this is crazy. What is in these sheet masks that I keep getting breakouts? So I spent over a year with a lab in South Korea formulating one of the cleanest sheet masks on the market, which I'm very proud of. You have completely like educated so many people about my sheet mask. That is how I created my sheet mask, and I can't live without my sheet mask. I love it. Why do you like it?
Best. It honestly is the best. I have dry, dehydrated, sensitive skin. So when I do an exfoliation, I desperately need moisture afterwards. And your mask was like, I put it on and my skin sucked it all up. I don't even
Yeah.
think I told you the first time I used it, literally I dried out your mask. Like the mask, all of it went in and I peeled it off and my skin was so juicy and plumpy. I'm like sold. Like the way it hydrates, and it's very different than what traditional masks do. They're usually quite superficial, but yours goes right on in.
It's
And
the
I was
ingredient.
stupid impressed. I'm just
It's
like,
the
all right,
ingredients. Yeah.
yeah,
And I spent over a year formulating it. A lot of people
it
don't know
shows.
this, but I could easily take a mask created by a lab, turnkey, put my name on it and be like, this
Yep.
is my mask. But I really was like, no, this is a problem. I don't know what's in here. Whatever's in here is giving me rashes. I'm
Mhm.
home. I can't go to a spa. I'm like dealing with so much. We're all gonna die. We need clean sheet masks. That's gonna save us. And yeah, I'm really, for me, it's so exciting because seeing your work when you resonated with the face oil and the sheet mask, for me, that's like the biggest compliment because I'm like, wow, like people like it. It's working because I know it works for me. But of
Yeah,
course, I'm like, is everybody else gonna like it?
yeah,
So that is the biggest reward for me when people like it and they use it. I mean, you're in Canada, I'm in LA. We met through, our friend who also has a beauty brand. It's an amazing brand, Christy Buzz's brand. But it's like it's just wild how life is. And as much as social media, it has its downside. Like you and I have talked about this, like cruel
yeah.
comments and
Oh gosh, yeah.
haters.
Yep.
But also I feel like for me, it's just been such an amazing journey with social media because it's opened the doors for me to create things and have a brand and even work with people like you who are so specialized in the field of beauty. Like you are, you are like a beauty guru, and you know what? I feel like no one else I've met knows beauty more than you. Like you are a beauty genius. So
I
I'm
will take that. Can I get that on a plaque?
yeah, I will get on the plaque and I'll record it to you so we could play it every morning to get you pumped up your
Just
morning
just
mantra.
help my self-confidence, yes.
Yes. Well, you know what's so funny? Speaking of self-confidence, I
Yeah.
actually never thought of myself as someone who was beautiful. I just didn't. Growing
Come
up, I
on.
never saw people that looked like me on television, faces of brands. Like, are you kidding me? I never saw people that looked like me on covers of magazines. So I had a self-esteem issue with the way I look. This beauty brand has really not only healed my skin, but healed my soul about beauty and how I feel for myself. Like even today, before we did this interview, I was using a rose quartz crystal butterfly gua sha, and I was just telling myself, like, you're beautiful. And I
Yeah.
don't think we do that enough. It's always
Agreed.
comparing, like, oh, my eyebrows look bad, oh, my hair looks bad. Everything, like when I look in the mirror
Yeah.
before, was like, what's wrong with my face? Now I'm just like, it's really, this beauty brand has really helped me heal the way I feel about beauty and what beauty is for me.
And it's so important. It's so important. I forget how for me, it's just like, I know what to do. I can help you. I can figure it out for you. One of my clients actually suffered from a pretty horrific skin condition. And for them, it helping put a routine together for them. And then how she felt afterwards, like she sent me this amazing email. And I just sat there kind of dumbfounded going, I didn't realize it was that much. Like I didn't realize I helped her that much. And I have more than one. I mean, obviously over the time I've reached a lot of people that way. And not to toot my own horn, but just to say, just to be grateful in receiving that information and going, thank you, thank you. I want this to matter. I want my work to be important. I don't want it to be superficial. I'm not
Right.
into superficial. I want deep connections, good conversations. I want people to feel good about themselves. Good God, it's hard. Life is hard enough as is. And, life is going to beat you down, just like that old Rocky movie mantra. I love that mantra. That's what gets me through when I have really hard days, because I do suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, unfortunately. And that just helps me get back up, because it's a little bit like the military training or the policing training. It's like, get back up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Get back up, just get back up, just get back up. And, every day it's just that consistency that brings it up. And that's just life-giving to be able to do that for other people and help people feel good about themselves. And your products are fabulous. It's nice to sit there and go, you're actually going to feel pretty good afterwards. You're going to feel really good because you have the downtime to wear the mask. Your skin's going to feel hydrated. You're going to look in the mirror and you're going to go, hey, my skin plumped
Hey.
right back up. Look at me. Like, I don't feel like a bag of poop anymore, because life is hard. And in your 40s and your 50s, life gets really challenging with your family. People get sick around you.
Yeah.
You get knocked on your knees. And it's hard. And then you go through perimenopause and your face dumps on you. It's like,
And we
you
need a
know?
break. Literally, I've been saying that this is so exciting for me. I've had a really rough month. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my mother-in-law has breast cancer all in like 1 year. It's just been really difficult navigating everything. And you're right. It's like life is hard. So for me,
Yeah.
this is so much joy to put this together with you and have it finally out on the market. I am just so excited and thrilled. Can we talk about how it's a $130, $129 value at
Yes.
$89? So
Always. Price point is genius. I think the price point is genius. I know you guys took a hit, but I think it's genius. It's going to be great for the Christmas holidays. I would not be surprised if this sells out, because it's
it's
so
gonna, I feel
universal.
it. It's gonna sell out. I
I
feel it.
think so too, because it's so universal. The price point is phenomenal. It's a little, this oil is going to last people forever. So it's, again, you get 5 masks. I love your masks.
Yes. I'm
I
so
just want, I want all, like I love these. Like it's my ride or die. I have my favorites. I always go back to it. I will test other brands. And I say this honestly, nothing has compared to yours. When it
Oh,
comes to face mask, I love a lot of other brands, but none of them touch your hydration like your face mask. Even I got my husband to use it when we went to Montreal.
oh my God. I love the picture you sent me. That made me
I
so.
thought you'd get a kick out of it.
I had my friend send me a picture of her husband yesterday using my mud mask. Nothing gets me more excited when I see couples send me pictures at night and and it's like the husbands are wearing the mask. That gets me so excited because I'm like, you obviously don't expect them to be so into self-care, but when I see, I'm like, oh, couples doing self-care together, and it's my brand that they're using. It's like the
Mhm.
biggest thrill.
It is. It's an honor, right? To say, hey, I put something together that people actually will use, and especially the men. Because if you can get a man to use it,
Oh yeah.
you've hit a run, right? Because guys are just like, meh. But if you can get a guy to use it and they're like, yeah, I really like it. He loved it. Because when you fly, your skin just dehydrates so
Oh
bad.
yeah.
So I'm just like, I bought two. I said, you want to do a fun selfie with me? He's like, oh, fine. And then he put it on. He's like, wow, this is nice. This feels good. So now he loves them. So whenever he needs it, he'll
Oh.
just grab one and throw one on. I love it. I
I
love it.
love it. Well, I'm
Yeah.
so happy that we're doing this together, and I can't wait to see you in Los Angeles, you guys, on December 20. We're going to be doing an event at Macy's, and we'll announce which location will be in Los Angeles. And I can't wait to see you down here and hug you in person. And I'm going to be hugging this box. for now until you come down here. Thank
Sounds
you
good.
so much.
I'm right there.
Tell everybody where people could find you.
You can find me on all my social media. So on TikTok, it's Beauty Junkie Monkey. On Instagram, it's Natasha B, Beauty Junkie Monkey. And on Facebook, it's the Beauty Junkie Monkey or Natasha B. So you can see me on all that. And I'm going back on not TikTok, sorry, YouTube. I'm going to back on YouTube because I kind of left YouTube for a while, but you
Yeah,
know, it's kind of nice to go back there. It's a different people. And I
right.
like sometimes you just need to try something a little bit different.
I agree. I did YouTube for 15 years. It was my
Yeah.
life. And I feel like I've taken a break for 4 years. And I'm thinking starting January with the podcast, I'm going to go
Yeah.
back into posting it on YouTube. It's been 4 years, but I'm
Well,
excited to go. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
Really talk about beauty, really about your brand, gives you an opportunity to do, you're kind of just evolving from what you've done previously into something else. And that's what life is all about, just continue to evolve.
yes, evolve, grow, and glow, like I say.
Yeah. Of course you'd say it like that. That's so true.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview with my girl, Natasha, Beauty Junkie Monkey. Our collaboration is out, and you guys could check it out at Diana Madison Beauty. You could buy it at Macy's. You could check out Natasha on her platforms. She's amazing to follow and learn about skincare and beauty. And I'm so excited we're doing this. I can't wait to cheers to many, many more collaborations.
Yes, and I appreciate you 100%. Thank you so much for this
Oh,
amazing opportunity.
I love you so much, and I will see you in LA. See you soon.
Sounds good. All right.
Bye.
Bye.